Hello YouTubers and our clients at InStar Alliance here in the Washington DC area, number 703-646-3941. Today we're going to be talking about how to use the power of a network when real estate investing. Why bother with the real estate? Real estate is definitely a viable option. Especially in this type of environment that we're in now. As I'm taping, we're doing a pandemic. I've noticed and talked to several different realtors here in the DC area, and we actually have a buyer shortage. We don't have enough, we don't have enough sellers in order to cover all the inventory. A lot of people are starting to look at real estate, and I recommend it for my clients, as always on a training video. Always want to show all the different options you can do once you've joined us and figured out how you want to invest your money beyond the different investments that we have. We have investments to get you out of debt at 4.75% interest, which compounds annually. We have other investments that you can invest in and get a guaranteed rate. It works with three standards. It works with the gold standard, as I was mentioning earlier, with gold. It works with mutual bonds, which has been still fairly steady. Treasury bonds have been still pretty steady over this pandemic. And then the last one that it works with is just some very solid stocks. Apple, Google, not necessarily more so just an S&P index in general, but solid stocks that have shown to perform during adverse conditions like what we're in now. Any event, let's go into real estate. This shouldn't be a very long video because I'm just going to touch on the main prospects of it for today. Basically, my background with real estate started back a while. I started back in the early 2000s after I came out of my travel industry work, and so I have a background in real estate. So it had me talking about it. The real estate market was different back then. In 2001 and 2006, it was entirely different. People basically could get real estate as long as they had a pulse, and they have a lot more criteria today than they did back then. And of course they couldn't afford the payments. We don't really understand that real estate of your home, I think, is a problem that a lot of clients have. It's not the same as investing in real estate. Real estate for your home is not an investment. I think that's the huge misunderstanding that a lot of people have, and it's not true. It just simply do not, or you should not, look at your real estate that you've purchased for you and your family or yourself as an investment. It is not. It never has been, never will be. An investment means that you purchase something in the concept of getting a profit on it. Now, a lot of people do end up making more money on the house than when they paid for it. But the only way you can do that is it has to be between the first 5 to 6 years. After you've lived in the house that time, you paid so much interest on your mortgage, which is what we do at InStar Alliance to get you out of your mortgage in a short period of time, 10 years or less, the different programs that we have. Then whatever gain that you had, let's say the house cost $200,000 and you sold it for $300,000, but if you paid $120,000 in interest over a 10-year period, obviously it wasn't an investment. It was a loss. But most people never can grasp that concept. They just say, well, I've got my real estate and that's it. Two different types of real estates we want to talk about today. The first real estate, and I dealt with all of that. I worked first in a investment group and still do today. Still work with investments, mostly in the Texas area, not here in the Washington, D.C. area. I still have some investments in some other things that I do. And we can get into that perhaps in some other later episode. But for now, investing in real estate, you need a network. And that's what I was talking about earlier, how to use the power of a network. You need to get roofers. They're going to give you the best rate. The fastest and the quickest way of making money on real estate is to flip it. It always has been. Being a landlord, I only recommend doing such a thing if that's the only style of residual income that you can think of. It's a lot of work. People, when there's a problem with the house, no matter 90 million% of the time it's their fault that it happened, they still expect you to fix it. So, secondly, you're still paying on the taxes and everything of it. Unless you buy the real estate in such a low price and then you go ahead and rent it, and you manage to find the most ugliest duckling in the neighborhood, but it's location, 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 it's awesome area. And then you can rent it really high, and then by the grace of God, you luck out and get good renters. Can you make money with it? Yes, you could. Under that circumstances, those are a lot of ifs. What ifs that I don't think people are guaranteed to always get when they invest in real estate. To use it as rental income, as a secondary income. It can be, but for the most part, it's not that easy. There's just a lot of factors involved. You still have to pay taxes on it. You still have to pay a mortgage on it if you didn't buy it outright. You still need to fix it up. I learned over the period of time that I was in real estate, and I got out of real estate pretty obviously because in 2006 I was one of the fortunate few down in Texas, in the San Antonio area, that also, they offered for the whole state the option to be a loan officer. So I could see, after I left the investment work that I was doing, I could see on the realty side when I got my license then that people couldn't afford to buy these houses. They just simply couldn't afford to. I saw the writing on the wall and stepped out of that industry, got into the durable medical equipment industry. Throughout this whole time that I always worked with, I always had a business and always taught and trained people about making sound financial choices, and that goes all the way back to '94, long before that. That was a secondary thing for me always. This is primary, but I'm saying back then it was. I always talked to people about it. I talked to clients about it when I was even working in the real estate industry. So my point to you is simply, if you're going to invest, you have to look at it in two ways. It's either as an investment to flip, and you'll need a network. And you'll need a network of people who are going to offer you good prices on roofing, good prices on siding, good prices on tiling. You can do it all yourself, but the time involved with it, it's hard to say if it's worth it. Unless you have the skills of carpentry, which most people don't. They usually make a bigger mess than what they would have if they just paid somebody. You need to market first, network, find out who the best people are, check references, get a list of people if you're going to flip real estate. And then, like I said, again, go with the same concept that I mentioned earlier, which was doing that real estate by finding the most ugliest duckling in the neighborhood. That's the first thing. And then fixing it up, okay, to create a profit. Now, Robert Kiyosaki talks about that type of debt to be good debt. In that extreme circumstance, I would agree with him. It is. Because in that point, but I would only do it if I felt that I had an option of selling it as soon as I completed the project. How would I know that? Again, marketing, trying to figure out what people want in the environment that you live in. Looking around, talking with different people, talking with realtors, talking with people in that industry to try to figure out what people are looking for, so then that way you can find what they're looking for, fix it up, and then sell it to them. Become the middleman, and that's where some money is to be made. People still do and have done for decades as renters, renting. Again, positives and negatives, unless it's all the different scenarios that I mentioned earlier. More than likely, it's not going to be ideal for you as a main secondary income. I've talked about so many other different incomes, but like I said, I wanted to touch on real estate because real estate is still a solid investment. It always has been. Housing usually goes up. It doesn't go down too often. It did during the time frame when I came out. It went crashing to the floor, and we had our recession. Not nearly as bad as what we have here in 2020, but nevertheless, people have gone ahead and they've taken their money and they're trying to put the savings into that. If you didn't do the programs that we have and you followed all the rules and steps that I mentioned earlier, yeah, real estate would be a viable option for you. But that's basically what I'm going to go about today. This is a relatively short video. And hopefully you've learned something from it. We'll move further on to other topics. I'll probably do a recap next week just of all the different options and different programs that Nessa Lyle talks about on her YouTube channel of different types of multiple sources of income. I might recap that again as well, because you need more than a primary income. I think this pandemic has taught people that more than anything. You need some backup because, like I said, businesses are folding. I've seen a lot of different businesses, a lot of restaurant businesses, and other types of businesses really struggling. I went to the movie theater and hardly anyone was there. We hardly have any movies to watch. Hollywood had shut back on some of the productions and pushed them forward in the future. I don't think that's a logical reasoning, even though they might not make a lot of money on it, because then they could end up destroying their supply chain of movie theaters if they don't have anything to show to people that people want to come out to see. But these are all the different things that happen, and those people who maybe worked a movie theater, they just got back to work. Who knows how long? I'm just saying you need secondary incomes. You need other alternative incomes. We offer that with InStar Alliance. We offer these options with you with these different investment programs. These programs are safe. They guarantee a certain amount of return, anywhere from 4.75 to 6% interest on the money every year. It compounds. But these are the things that you need to do. The first thing you need to do, though, and I've told my clients this endlessly, and you clients know, get out of debt. You need to get out of debt. If you're going to go the real estate market, great, you can do that. I only recommend doing that when all your primary bills have been paid and now you're looking at options of investing your money as additional income for you. Down that road, yes. Right now, no. Anyway, like I said, we'll touch back on some different topics next week, just looking at other types of incomes as well. And as always, be safe, and we'll follow up the following week. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, I did want to show you one thing too. Just a little bit of this is when I was in the real estate industry. Yeah, it's been a while. I saved this book. There I am down there. Kind of see me here. So yeah, real estate is a good investment. It's just that I recommend it once you've gotten all your debts together and you're at a point that you can afford to do it. Talk to you later.